Alright, next quest. The Wandering Whale. Thanks to your most selfless contributions, I draw closer and closer to proving my hypothesis correct. Other gleaners have also been helping me by continuing to find specimens for me in calmer waters. But I would gather data from further and further afield, which is, of course, where you come in. Pew, 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 pew. Professor. Albris, it's not like you to get so excited, whatever's the matter. No, but I haven't introduced you to yet, have I? This is Albris, one of my new research assistants. She's been a great help in analyzing all the data we've collected. Appreciate the vote of confidence, but this is no time for pleasantries. A whale has somehow wandered its way into Scholar's Harbor. The Harbor Master has requested that you come and assess the situation with all haste. Oh dear, I suppose you must be in a hurry then. A whale? Huh. My apologies, but it seems our work will have to wait until later. In the meanwhile, would you accompany me to the harbor? Your insight into the situation could prove most valuable. To the harbor it is. Yes, the emotes are back. Twitch did not understand my question, apparently. I inquired about ads, and somehow that turned into... Oh, here's your affiliate status. Thanks. But that wasn't what I was asking. Is what it is. Let's find out about the whale. Three quick balls left. Time to hit the store. I believe it was somewhere around here. Look, everyone must be so concerned. It's not every day a massive whale finds its way into the harbor. To catch Sableye? Dude, Sableye's really good. It's a whale! That's a big fucking whale. Holy shit. It's a breed that calls the northern seas home. It's not especially rare to see them off the coast, but I've never heard of one coming so close to land at this. It's most strange. It doesn't appear to be wounded, nor have there been any notable storms of late. Whatever might have caused it to veer so far off its normal course. What indeed? At any rate, we need to move it to one of our facilities and ensure it's kept safe while we tend it to its wounds it may have and study it more. I suppose we should check its aether levels as well. Ready a team for me, Albert. Of course, Professor. Maybe quite the undertaking. My apologies, but our project will have to wait a while longer. Let us reconvene back at Searcher's Meet and discuss the matter further. We'll go for a bit. Alright, dude. If I don't see you, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your Pokemon. Good luck on the Sableye. Hopefully you get some good critical captures so it's easy and quick and easy to catch the Pokemon you're missing. There's nobody here. Where's our homie? Oh, we're just waiting for him to come back. Hello there. I'm so very sorry for keeping you waiting. We just finished tending to the creature's ailments and doing some preliminary analysis. As we suspected, the whale hadn't sustained any major injuries. However, it does seem to be suffering from severe aether sickness and is highly disoriented as a result. Needless to say, I can sympathize. The creature's aether levels were also cause for concern, which would explain why it wound up somewhere so far from its usual habitat. That said, we're still none the wiser as to what caused all this. Who's the blue-haired girl? How goes it, Telek? Oh, and Andrew, what a pleasant surprise. I've heard all about your predicament with the wayward whale. Master Kite? What do I owe the pleasure? I'm simply hoping to pick your brains about something that I imagine is related to your line of work. From the same time your larger-than-life friend wandered into the harbor, a veritable legion of fish washed ashore in Yedlamad, near the experimental aetherite. It sounds too similar to be mere coincidence. Curious behavior by aquatic life has been known to portend natural disasters. Yes, this strikes me as very much related to my studies. That said, nothing I have gleaned thus far has suggested that aether currents can change so drastically as to inflict nearby creatures with aether sickness. All I have observed suggests that the creatures of the planet follow a simple and regular rhythm, not unlike the tides. Indeed, the entirety of my research up until now has been focused on proving this point. If there's been a sudden disturbance in the underwater aether currents, then it would take some time to determine the cause. I also need to attend the whale. When will I have time to return to my thesis? As for the whale, the Studium has already announced that it will be dispatching a vessel to research the aether currents in the seas near Charlian. Won't benefit any of us if such incidents continue to occur after all. If we wish to investigate the link between the two events, as Master Kite suggested, then perhaps we should pay a visit to Thavnair. Astute suggestion. You could recruit help from one of our colleagues over there, or wait a minute, I believe you're the perfect man for the job right here. If you insist. As generous and dependable as ever. Yes, I knew you'd be up to the task. I would accompany Andrew. You would? When was the last time you even ventured outside the Studium's grounds? That's not important. Andrew has risked life and limb to help me with my research. I can't just keep leaving all the hard work to him. Professor, going to Thavnair means you would have to travel via the Aetherite, or by ship. Not that you'd handle that any better. I will never leave? Oh, okay. You don't have to tell me that. Still, time is of the essence. Besides, I'll never be truly respected as a researcher if I don't go out and get my hands dirty from time to time. I've let my fears rule me for far too long. Today is the day I conquer them. Well, it's clear you're not going to change your mind. Please try not to cause Andrew too much trouble. Now that you mentioned it, I hadn't consulted you on the matter. Andrew, do you mind if I join you this time? Fantastic. In that case, I shall see you in Yedlamad. Boom, 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 boom. Andrew Tat? Yeah. Yeah. That's not where I want to go. I'm gonna go here. Where's he at? He's over here. Bored alchemist. I found this fellow rolling about in his own vomit a short while ago. Not a pretty sight, I can assure you. I'm not sure I've ever seen someone suffer from such severe aether sickness. Rolling around in his own vomit. Oh, Andrew, is that you? Oh, you know this fellow? This poor man was so ill I thought he might die. I'd not have believed anyone could suffer from such severe aether sickness if I hadn't seen it myself. I'm glad you weren't here to see me immediately after I arrived. It was even less pretty a sight than what you witnessed at the Aetherite Plaza back in Charlian. Don't even get me started on the most ghastly visions I saw. What's up, Galactic? Countless replicas of myself dancing and singing and spinning and spinning and spinning. Oh, the spinning! Please make it stop. We're working on the fishing quests for the Studium. Suggest you lie down for a while still, friend. It wasn't so long ago that you were convulsing on the ground, spitting up some ghastly bile. You're right, my friend. My apologies for making you worry so. Really sorry about this, Andrew. Might you be so kind as to ask around while I rest here a bit more? Poor guy. He's not good with traveling on the Aetherite. And he took the experimental Aetherite. Last night I rolled a 99 on the chest coffer, a 90 on the weapon coffer, and a 91 in the mount, and got them all. Dude, let's go! I found out the mount that I really like that has the it's the dragon on the ground and the phoenix in the air is actually from that fight. And I'm like, fuck. Kind of want that one. Never seen anything like it. Entire schools of fish suddenly washing up ashore. There's so many you couldn't see a single grain of sand. Our fishers have their hands full trying to clean up the mess even as we speak. Troublingly, we have no idea what caused it. It's not as if anything ominous occurred to portend such an event. Why, the night sky was peaceful as always. The full moon shining bright in the night sky. Weird. Yeah, I found that out from someone while I was working on another project. I asked him, where does that mountain come from? He's like, oh, it's from P8S. I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, kind of like, fuck, I might have to do that one because that mount's really fucking cool. Now that you mention it, there was one thing out of the ordinary earlier the day before the fish appeared. The river that runs here from the shroud of the Samgo was swelling like mad. The seawater flowed black into the river, and some say they saw it carrying fish deep, deep into the woods. I'd love to get it next X-Pack, but I don't think you want to do Savage currently. I'd have to get some gear to actually start doing it. I would need more gear to do it, and I would also need a group to play with. I'd probably go in as Scholar or Sage, honestly. I'd probably prefer to heal it. I don't think I'd want to DPS or tank that, honestly. Am I sure? I wouldn't have said it if I wasn't. It's way harder on healers than anything else. Honestly, I would be better at healing than doing damage. I would be dead in the water in damage. I would probably do like some of the lowest damage anyone's ever seen. I'm just typically not good at damage dealing. I have fun doing damage, but I don't play damage dealers optimally enough to do like respectable damage as a DPS. And tanking, as much as I like tanking, I'm not very good at tanking. Like, I like it. I can't imagine I'd do very well in raiding. I wouldn't be opposed to learning how to tank the fight. But I wouldn't necessarily say I'm like, you know, oh yeah, I'm really good at tanking. Like, I'm just okay at tanking. You think this is a lot of fish? You should have been here earlier. It's a massive improvement. Believe you me, no time to rest though. If they start rotting, the stench alone will be enough to make the whole town ill. What's especially bizarre is that these fish normally stay away from land altogether, save for when they go up the rivers to lay eggs, that is. Anyway, I've never seen or smelled anything like it in my life, and I hope I never do again. Something happened with the river. I've seen a little bit of the fight. There's definitely some bursty phases of like, ooh, that's some heavy damage going out. Definitely situations that you have to see a couple times to be ready for when they're gonna happen. Like, oh, okay, this is where the big healing comes in. This Tank Buster shared autos coming out with the entire party. All the entire party has bleed. Yeah, it's definitely one of those you want two very coordinated and stronger healers to deal with that for sure. That cleave section is specifically what I'm talking about. I'm like, that's a lot of fucking healing. But it doesn't look honest. It looks rough, but it doesn't look like impossibly hard. I'll just make you go alone, friend. I still can't quite stand up straight, but I feel much better than when I arrived. Tell me, were you able to learn anything of interest from the townspeople? A full moon the night before and a strong tide flowing up into the river. It would seem this is what we call a tidal bore. The fact that these fish are typically not seen near the coast is strangely reminiscent of our whale problem. No, this cannot be mere coincidence. Better these fish that were supposedly carried upstream into the wood intrigues me as well. Assuming they're still alive, they would provide much more useful data than those rotting corpses on the beach. If we were to analyze them and find them in a similar etheric state as the whale and Charlian, we could safely conclude that both events were caused by the same or at least similar phenomenon. Terribly sorry to impose this on you again, but would you go catch those fish for me? They might very well be the key to solving this mystery. From the fisherman's description, swimming upstream you said, I suspect we are looking for Alnarian salmon. If so, those leeches you used on the clams and garlic should serve you well again here. I don't want to heal that fight ever. I don't know, I feel like Final Fantasy 14 healing just spoils the shit out of me compared to healing in WoW, just because I can Asuna so many things off. And just the abilities seem to flow together in a much nicer pattern. Is this water? I can't fucking tell. This is water, okay. Alarian, whatever. More of a DPS main, but I can heal if I need to. See, I started playing the game as a summoner because I started with Arcanist. And then when I unlocked Scholar, I didn't just fall in love with the story for Scholar. I really, really like how the class plays. Would you send me a video of the boss fight? Oh my god, you can summon in Pokemon with mods in Elden Ring now. What is this? This is like Savage in a nutshell. You're talking to someone who's literally done heroic and mythic raiding in World of Warcraft. And has also played levels harder than this in Mario. This is like some fucking super expert Mario Maker garbage. This isn't even what Savage rating is. This is objectively this is dog shit. I actually know exactly what level this is. It's not even a good super expert level. It's just a bad one. I actually know exactly what that is even. Oh yeah, dude. You've seen me do fucking fights in World of Warcraft. Those are messier than fucking Oh, I do everything blind. I don't like watching videos. I don't learn anything watching videos of here's what to do in this boss fight. It's like, okay, by the time I finish watching this video, I've already forgotten most of it. Oh, did I catch? Oh, I caught the fish first try. Look at that. I didn't even notice. Yeah, I've never been good at watching a video and learning a boss fight. I used to raid lead in World of Warcraft even. And I raid leaded just off the cuff. I never watched the guide videos. I'd go in and we'd learn the fight as we did it. And that was back before Mythic was called Mythic. It was just called Heroic back then. Now, granted, we didn't, you know, full clear the entire raid on Heroic. We didn't do Heroic in Throne of Thunder. We did Heroic in Siege of Orgrimmar. Siege of Orgrimmar, we got to Galakras. We never finished Galakras Heroic, so we got the first 4 down on Heroic, and then that's where we stopped with Heroic. And then I had to actually go and finish Garrosh on normal with another team that I was playing with, because the team I was leading could not fucking do it. And I wanted the boss kill, so I went and made sure I got my boss kill from that. And then, we got to... Was it Kromog or was it High Inquisitor? I think it was the last boss of Heimal on normal we got to, and we were able to get Kilrog down on Heroic. And that's as far as we got until I had it with the guild leader because he was a pompous piece of shit. And I told him off. And then I got kicked out of the raid. And then most of the raid team left with me because they were pissed that he kicked out the person who was facilitating the fact that we got any content cleared at all. Because he was raiding not with us, he was raiding with an entirely other team altogether. And then was giving us shit because he had mythic raid gear and we had normal gear and we're progressing normal mode and we're out DPSing him as a tank. Because he was, you know, triple the gear score of everybody else. He did not like me calling him out on that. After that guild fell apart, fun fact, I started playing Final Fantasy XIV. Because I was super mad, didn't want to play World of Warcraft, and my 2 friends that had started playing Final Fantasy and Realm Reborn's re-release were like, hey, why don't you try out this game then? And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll give this a try. And here we are. I love to impose, but you must go into the woods and catch those fish for me. I didn't come all this way just to get myself sick. I must solve this mystery. Here's the fish. I thank the gods, and thank you, my friend. I would have hated to go home with nothing but the memory of my worst bout of aether sickness ever. Happy to report that I also made some progress myself. I had a word with the alchemists here to help me, and it turns out they have a keen interest in aether as well. We had an exchange of views that was most stimulating. May not be able to do much while here, but I'm glad I made the effort to leave the studio for once. Now it's time we return so I can make use of the knowledge and analyze the samples you kindly reeled in for me. Last, while we may not need to use the god's awful experimental aetheryte to travel back, an aetheryte is still an aetheryte. Heavens have mercy. Alright, let's return back to the studium. Yeah, no, I have no problem doing Savage content. The largest issue of why I don't engage in Savage is, generally speaking, there are not rewards from Savage that I care about. I'll do a boss fight to get a reward I care about, even if I don't like the boss fight. If the item I want from the boss fight's cool enough, I'll go do it. The problem is a lot of times it's like, that's neat, but I don't really care. That mount's actually kind of fucking cool, though. It's cool enough that I'm like, I might go get that. That's kind of neat. Oh, like, what the hell's a Brioniac? It's a Dragoon stick. I don't play Dragoon, though. The Palaka Vest of Aiming. Well, that's kind of neat. No, that's the main reason I don't do Savage, is less so not being able to handle the content or not wanting to do the content. It's, well, this gives rewards, but I don't really care. The last time I really cared about what the rewards looked like from Savage was the Lost Allagan weapons from the first chunk of Omega. And I only cared about what they looked like on Savage was because they were dyeable. Currently stuck in Praetorium. Dude, movie time, let's go! It's the movie dungeon! That's not to say, though, I have been critical of boss design for, you know, harder mode contents. And that doesn't, you know, diminish the fact that, yeah, I haven't done the content because I don't want the rewards from it. But that doesn't mean I haven't been critical of it for justified reasons. There are some boss fights that are just over-designed and just kind of like, why is this the way you chose to do that? There's just some mechanics I don't care for. That are like, this is gross. A lot of those mechanics are why I don't DPS hard dungeons. I usually heal. Because healing and tanking is far easier than doing DPS. Good to see you return. Needless to say, the trip was a rough one for me. Thankfully, it wasn't nearly as uncomfortable as that dreadful experimental aetheryte. I'm just about finished analyzing the fish you caught in Thavnair. As expected, their aether levels are almost identical to those of the Wayward Whale. You believe that a sudden change in the concentration of aether in the nearby currents caused them to completely alter their behavior? Precisely. That said, the change was of such magnitude that I would struggle to explain it with my initial hypothesis of aetheric tides. On the contrary, if such sudden changes are possible, then I may have to reconsider my premise altogether. Moreover, we can't safely return to the Whale to the sea until we know precisely what is at the root of this problem. Is it not connected to the ebb and flow of the tide? Yes, I do remember considering that when you shared the people's tales with me. You posit that the underwater aether currents are affected by the moon, much as the tide itself is, then any sudden change in the moon's state would naturally affect underwater aether levels as well. Recent changes in the moon. By the scholar, that's it. The destruction of Zodiark would have freed an unfathomable amount of aether from within the moon. It would only be logical that if this had an impact on the underwater ether currents. If this is the explanation, my initial theory may yet be viable. With this recent outpouring of aether being the exception that proves the rule, we will need to watch closely for any similar incidents in the near future. I had time to explain that I also destroyed Heidelin. Huh? You did what? Well, I had to release the aether back out somehow. Oh, Tlaloc, word is it that you braved the journey by Aetheryte to do some fieldwork in Thavner. Did you find aught of interest there? I see. Word of advice, if I may. Any researcher worth his salt must be prepared to rethink and reevaluate their theories when presented with new evidence. Have you given any thought to how you might adapt yours? My initial theory was, to a degree, predicated on the existence of Zodiark. Now that he is no more, I am not entirely sure how we might. Unless we could, yes, that's it. We could examine a species altogether more ancient, from a time when the heavens were free of Zodiark and other entities of high etheric concentration. Professor, please, this is no time for idle jests. I'm being perfectly serious. Why, I have complete confidence that Andrew here will be able to find what we require. I do not doubt his skills, but even the best gleaners would struggle to find specimens of species that doubtless died out ages ago. Oh, ye of little faith, our friend is more than up to the task. Isn't that so, Andrew? What? Now that's the spirit, Tlaloc. A good scholar must consider every possible option, even those that might seem impossible. Keep pondering the matter, and I have no doubt you will arrive at an answer ere long. You have a lot of confidence in my ability to time travel. Lucky for you, I am capable of such things. I can, in fact, time travel.